2019 and movies. Why 2019 and movies, besides 2020, which had no movies, was probably one of the more disappointing years in movies. According to film critics, it's one of the best years in movie history. You had the most amount of movies reach $1 billion, even though all those were because of one monopoly. One monopoly that wants to basically ruin it, that wants to basically take over the film industry and own everything. But therefore, 2019 was not that great for movies. Okay, it was not that great. Of course, for the you know average Joe, for the average Joe, most of the movies were not that great. It was just the meh year. And we have one company to blame for this: Disney. Of course, we all know Disney is basically attempting to become a monopoly over film. And 2019 in the box office is more proof of that. Look at the highest grossing movies of the year. Okay? These are the highest grossing movies of the year. Okay? Does really anyone remember half of these movies? Or even like them? There's my point. There is my point. Not many people really liked many of these movies. Okay? The only movies that people really liked were Joker, Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. And if you include the whole total chart, Jumanji the Next Level. But a lot of movies disappointed. 2019 is basically like 2014 in video games. There were so many big games that were promised. Like, for example, in 2014 in video games, you had games like Watch Dogs, release. And it sold well, but 2014 in games is basically like 2019 in movies. Okay? Yeah, so if you get a majority of the highest grossing movies of the year, a lot of the movies were not that great or disappointed people in a whole. Let's just go point out a few examples, because I'm not going to point out every single movie of 2019. So first is The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker disappointed Star Wars fans everywhere. Again, a series that was already dead by the previous movie, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker promised it would fix all the problems of The Last Jedi. Did it? No, it didn't. But again, because it had the name Star Wars in it, it still made $1 billion. It still made $1 billion because it had the name Star Wars in it. But did people who remember it for being a good movie? I watched it. It was good until like the last like 30 minutes where it came up a bunch of bullshit and I said, yep, here's a movie. And then we have Frozen 2. Frozen 1 was an overrated pile of garbage. So of course a sequel of it would make $1 billion. And Frozen 2 sucks. No questions needed. And even fans of the first movie hated this movie. That's how not good it was. But because it had the name Frozen on it, because it's part of Disney's monopoly, it made $1 billion. The most overrated IP in literal film history, probably besides Marvel itself and Star Wars. And then we have Captain Trash. The fact that this is even the top 5 highest grossing movies is astonishing, because Captain Marvel is garbage. Okay, it is probably one of the worst films to ever reach $1 billion. Besides the Lion King remake, whereas of course we all knew the sequel would blindly buy up that movie, but, Captain Marvel was so amazing that somehow made $1 billion. Okay? We all know Disney probably did something, to make this movie make $1 billion, because no one really wanted to see this movie. But of course, because Disney had a monopoly over movies, it was basically your only choice, or a bunch of no-name movies that nobody has heard of. And because nobody wants to be that one person who watched a no-name movie, that's how Captain Marvel made $1 billion. The next movie on the list is... Okay, we're skipping movies that came out last year. Yo, yo. I don't know why they put all these movies from last year. Is Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. Again, this is a spin-off, so really, who cares? And then the next movie we had was The Secret Life of Pets 2. The Secret Life of Pets 2 was even worse than the first movie. And how the first movie was funny. It was I know people hate it for being a quote unquote rip off of Toy Story, but Boss Baby did the same exact plot, but they didn't get any criticism for doing it. The Pets one was funny. It was humorous, but it wasn't. You know, the second one just existed, and that's it. Then we also, and then it's funny. It's just funny that it's just Disney. Dumbo, Movies and Mistress of Evil. Not many people really thought that was good. That movie was good. Same thing of Dumbo. Lego Movie 2, the second part. Does anyone remember Lego Movie, the second part? No. And this is the problem with 2019 movies. You have Hustlers. Does anyone remember that movie? Probably not. The Addams Family, Downtown Abbey, Rocket Man. You remember? I didn't forget what's here. Men in Black International. Anyone remember Men in Black International? We also have. Okay, that was 2018. We have X-Men Dark Phoenix, Terminator Dark Fate, Abominable, Door in the Lost City of Gold, Escape Room, Pet Cemetery, Ad Astra. It's like, dear God. And isn't it romantic as well? Which was supposed to be the highest grossing movie because of course, a rom-com releasing on the freaking, Valentine's Day. We had Ma, which again, people would rather watch Godzilla than Ma. We had Wonder Park. Like, what? Like. And of course, you can't forget the Hustle, a remake of a remake. And it's funny how I'm not. It's funny how. And then we have the worst tragedy of all: Cats, freaking Cats, and another Child's Play remake. Like, we really want another Child's Play remake. And then we had the most overrated movie of the year, Booksmart. Okay, besides anything made by Disney, the critics said it was the best movie of the year because it had 2 lesbians on the cover. Yep, that's a movie that existed. Hellboy, Ugly Dolls. Oh yeah, Charlie's Angels. And Miss Bauer, Palms. Black Christmas, we can't forget that movie. And then we just had a bunch of box office failures after box office failures after box office failures. And you know what's funny? Some of the movies that they kept saying were so horrible, i.e. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, was at 25th because the critics wouldn't stop complaining about how they hated the movie. But of course, they sealed out, for fucking, Aladdin and fucking the Lion King remake and called those masterpieces. Because we can't criticize the great Disney Empire. We can't dare go out and criticize the great Disney Empire, or else the great Disney Empire will silence us. Okay? We also have movies like Grass, like it's like movie after movie of 2019 was disappointing and not that great. But it's funny how some of the best movies of 2019 were further down the list. Were the movies that I mocked and said, "Oh yeah, no one's gonna watch this. Nobody's gonna care about that." It's funny how I actually watched some of these movies, and they were actually good because I stopped realizing that, Disney's the only movie making company out there. And you know what? I still have not seen the Lion King remake, cause I know why. Cause I know what it is. It's a soulless remake of the Lion King. Nothing new, nothing different. Just the Lion King with CGI animals. Yep, that's it. That's the Lion King remake summed up for you. The same movie that you watched, but with CGI animals. It's just why. It's just why Disney. Okay. And that sums up 2019 of movies. So that's basically it. Goodbye.